Hello, hello, hello. Hey everyone. STT here, also known as SkyNero19. Welcome to Wednesday Night Gaming. I'm a little early today, actually, which is always nice to be. But yeah, let's get this started. We're gonna have another um, chill night here. I'm going to make this a little combo, kind of like yesterday, where we are going to pick up more or less where we left off in Subway Builder, and then once we get to a point where we let the game run, we will switch over to some Magic the Gathering Arena. That said, let's now get into our Subway thing. Boop, there we go. Boop, there we go. So, Subway Builder, we started playing on the Seattle map yesterday and hit the ground running. Um, I'm really excited here because, uh, again, this map is being amazing in terms of making, cash and things like that. Um, and it's just fun seeing how quickly we can grow. This is more or less where we left off last time. Um, you can see that I've now put some lines for construction onto the map, and we are actually well able to do it. I let this run in the background today while I was working to build up some money, and we're ready. I wanted to make sure we did this little part on stream, though, just so that, it's fun to share. I always like that. So let's do it right now. You actually hear, I have all the sounds on today, so you can have all of those nice things going on while we game. Construction sounds. I love those construction sounds. And that is all in. So let us now extend our routes. Because here's central. We went 2 stations north. And that's what, 4 stations south. Confirm those changes. Now we're absolutely going to have to start building trains. I want to keep, since we're making so much money, I'm going to try to keep some really good headways on everything. So I have 2 different kind of headway goals when I play these games. Actually 3, I guess. There's like a 40, 30, 20, which is like a lower use line. 30, 20, 15, which is kind of a mid-use line. And then one of my top goals is always like having 20 or 25, 15, and 10. So we're actually doing pretty close to the 25, 15, 10 here. I like seeing that. Where else are we extending? We're extending the university line 2 stops north. I don't think we're going to have to worry about putting new trains on that. But we'll check. Yeah, we're fine. We are. You know what? We'll give them a little bit more use midday now. We'll let that happen. No new trains, but a little bit new service. And our connector line, which we had already extended to the northwest earlier, we've now gone another 4 stations southeast. So we're kind of matching the central line there. Oh, I forgot to go in and rename all my stations. That's something that'll make more sense to a Seattleite as opposed to just the whatever names. Okay, so let's go in 30, 20. This will be 15. Exactly. That's only 3 new trains, which is not bad. Let's let it run. So as usual, once I build some new lines, I like to let the simulation run for a day's worth or so, just so that we can see what happened to ridership and to our finances. And with Seattle going strong here, I'm guessing that this like 4-part extension that I just did might actually push us into making more than 100 million on any given day, or at least in terms of revenue, not profit, but revenue. I think we might crack the 100 mark with this extension, because Seattle has just been that amazing for us so far. But that's me blabbing. Let's actually take a look and see how all our trains are doing. We're now in the morning rush. 12 trains. I guess that's what our maximum is right now. So one thing that I like to do sometimes when I pull up all of this train menu is to keep an eye out for which lines go into the yellow how often. because there are two different ways you can worry about capacity. One is just by putting more trains on the line, and the other is actually extending the length of each train. Especially if you're using light rail, then you want to, almost by default, extend the length of each train, because those at the short length are 400 passengers, at the long length they're 800. For this heavy rail that we've been using, the short length is 1,200 passengers per train, and the long length is 2,400. So you usually won't have a capacity issue if you're just relying on heavy rail. And that's something that I learned over time. Like, just because of the way the trains are described in the game, I thought most like US cities currently use light rail and then only use heavy rail in some certain situations. So that's how I built a lot of my early cities in this game. And I still think for some it's actually probably a good place to start. But by and large, I've since discovered that just start with heavy rail, especially if your first line is in a heavily trafficked district. And it kind of also makes sense if you want to, again, talk about distance travel. If you're a heavily trafficked district, you want more capacity, obviously. But also, I think the light rail is good for short distances. The heavy rail was what I would have said for long distances, but now I think it's medium distances, because we actually have a third option in the game, as of relatively recently, that actually is like quote-unquote commuter rail that hits even higher speeds and is now like recommended for really long distance travel. And for those trains, you actually have a much more granular control of how long the trains are. They can be anywhere from like 2 to 10 cars worth. So it's interesting there, but I guess if you're really going from like one neighbor city to another, there's going to be less people making that travel than opposed to traveling within a single city. We've now had a full day's worth on this new extension. So let's go in, let's see what the station ridership is. Okay. Again, terminus of this route's doing alright. Not a ton up and down the way. Although, we only have 2 stations total that are less than 2,000. So I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that, especially if we go in here. Yeah, all looking pretty good. So, my next plans for Seattle here. There are a couple of different lines that I've been thinking of. Oh, actually, even before we do that, let's check our finances. So yes, we have now unlocked the larger bond, so actually we can make up an entirely new line right now. Maybe not an entirely new line, but we can start up. But so, talking about the next lines that I want to do. First off, I'd like to handle, again, maybe some short distance stuff to collect more residents that wants to come into downtown Seattle. So I've talked a little bit about, I think I talked yesterday about getting like a kind of loop line here. We can already see that actually most of the residents, especially here, that are coming into Seattle are already getting on the line. So it's not a huge concern getting these people, but I still want to catch these people. Which means right now I'm thinking maybe of having a line that just goes diagonal across this northern section of the Seattle Metro. And then maybe another diagonal that, maybe comes into the university. Because I think with the university, yeah, there's still people up here that want to get in. So having that diagonal line here and then another diagonal here seem like really good options. The other things that I'm already considering is the actual Seattle Metro, or the light link, or whatever it's called, comes south through the city and then goes across the top of Mercer Island before coming back up into Bellevue. You can see here there's definitely some workers over here. If we go, oh, hang on, am I doing this correctly? Yeah, I am. Okay. We've got some workers over here that'd be nice to link up to, some workers down here. So I know we had kind of ignored this little worker area before. If we look at these workers, they mostly live right in the middle here. So I'm thinking maybe having a line that starts somewhere over here, goes across all the way through. And then to get these workers, I want to build a loop line that'll cover this entire sort of West Seattle area, maybe catching down here as well. So just a single little loop that'll serve that. So those are the two lines down here, and I think both of those lines, the loop here and the east-west that goes through Mercer, Eastgate, Issaquah, however you want to pronounce that. I'm sorry, Seattleites, I don't know. Those would be two like heavy rail lines, I think. And then yeah, these would be two light rail if I were to build them. Eventually, I need to decide what I'm doing with the central line and the connector line. Which one's like maybe going to hit Renton and get these workers? Which one's specifically going to go to SeaTac? I don't know. It really probably comes down to what populations I want to connect. So we've got that circular line coming here. We'll probably have some, maybe a horizontal, I don't know. But I do definitely think one of these two absolutely needs to hit up SeaTac itself. So if we're trying to connect these workers, either one will do. It almost looks like the green might be better for connecting to SeaTac. So that would put central to come into Renton and downward, which I guess kind of tracks because now that is central to this area of the map when it was central to this area earlier. So that's what I'll do long run. Oh, I actually didn't fully check. I got my 100 million per day revenue. What actually happened to the profits? We've jumped again, awesome, from upper 40s to about 70. That's incredible. So even just 10 days worth of just sitting would give me 700 million. And with the 500 that I have stacked, that'll be good. Ryu, hi, good to see you here. We are just building subways right now before we switch over to some Magic the Gathering. And I'm just babbling about all my plans for what I'm going to do in Seattle here. It is a awesome map to build on. I am loving it. I think what I'm going to do now is maybe start that east-west line across Mercer and plan ahead for the loop line here through West Seattle. And that is a spam call going on. Be quiet, phone. My one fan just dropped it. Oh, cool. Glad you get to hang out. That's always nice. Always nice to hang with the boyfriend. Where's my maps? Where's my maps? Okay, so here's the thing with trying to get into West Seattle. If I try to make a loop that hits into here and over here, I think I'm just gonna have to go underground. I guess I could use this street a little bit. Then what would I, then what? Because if I want to come through this way, that's absolutely going deep underground. We can maybe stay a little bit shallower on that street, but that's about it. And as I mentioned, the workers over here actually want this area. So for this area, I think I can just follow the road. And if I'm just following the road, then the station should go right here to correspond to what's coming underground. Let's start building. Oh, do I want to stay above ground the whole way? That's a good question. I almost forgot. I want to stay above ground the whole way. Because if we're getting these guys, can we go from this road up to Mercer? Not easily, although we can just come up the highway here. Meet there. Oh, but then I can't hit this station. I want to hit these two stations, so I want to go underground again. All right, cool. Cool. So we're starting shallow underground right about here. And then I guess maybe right here. How far apart are these stations now? Again, the ideal for this place is... Okay, that's actually closer than I was thinking, but you know what? It's fine. Then we will also now build deep underground. I could have moved that a bit more. That's all right. So if we just go like here... Uh-oh. I might have... Giving myself a problem there. Let's try to get there. I gotta make sure we have tracks. Through Alaska Junction here. 50 miles per hour is kind of slow, but that's fine. All right, now let's go back to demand. You're close enough to Oregon Street, right? 13 minutes. You're plenty close. Which means our next station, I think, will probably go right here. Even you can get to Oregon easily. So maybe even right here. Yeah. Okay, we're good. So we just go across the way here. And probably one more right here to get that. Well, okay, hang on a minute. If we're making our loop line, where's the loop line coming back through? I could maybe go right down this middle, but then where's the loop? Well, it's going underground. We're going deep underground. We can put it wherever the heck we want. So I'm going to try to make this centered right about there. So then our loop line comes underneath. Okay. That's where we are now. Unfortunately, we are now far enough away from downtown Seattle that all those fun little transit sounds aren't playing anymore. You can hear my construction sounds, but that's not nearly as fun. All right, if we put this little stretch here, will we... Yes, awesome, that works. What about this? That works. All right, I'm going a little wide to save speed. How are we doing on costs? 600 million, okay. 12 is kind of our limit based on what we said earlier. Well, no, because if I'm letting this run in the background while I play Magic the Gathering, I can make this as expensive as I want it to be. All right. So this is now coming up to here, like so. And then if we brand it like so. That's fine. Awesome. Now let's get over to Mercer. Where are we building on Mercer itself? I guess once up here-ish. Yeah, and then... Do I want to put 2 stations on Mercer? That seems like a lot. That's not a lot of population to worry about. If I put 1 station just smack dab in the middle, does that serve basically everyone? That might be a stretch. That does not register. That does. Okay. So that actually does serve most of Mercer. That single station. We're missing you. You would want to go up to Bellevue. And I'm not even going to hit that other person anytime soon. So apologies to you, whoever's living on the northwest of Mercer. You are not getting served. Oh, you kind of do want to be served, though, because that line will go over there. That will go over there. Oh, fine. I'll make 2 stations on Mercer. We'll split them up so that we're good. I'll make 1 here. And then 1 way on the far end here. And we'll actually come out and around over here when we're done. Heavy sigh. Not quite what I wanted, but this is going to be better for everyone involved. That's going to go too wide. It does go too wide. But we can do this. Do that. Awesome. Now this, we still need to stay at 12 for a little bit, I think. Just to get, like, actually, yeah, we can do that pretty quickly. Come out. Curve up just a bit. Connect. Awesome. All right, now where are we doing on costs? 1.4. I'd say we can shoot for like 2 as our costs for whatever we're building here. So next up, we want to hit into over here. So I think 1 station like right on the highway here, because we can connect that back up north. If we're coming low, we're coming over, something like that. And then another station here. Yes, definitely. Look at all those residents right by it. Okay, we want to go under those houses there. There we go. Cost 1.7. Okay. Is there any more demand over here that we really want to hit? Not particularly. Let's see what these people. Where are you people going? I mean, we've got several of these people coming into the city. So this person, you. That's kind of spread out. I don't think it's going to be quite worth it to me just yet to get all of those people in. So, with that said, we're going to add our crossovers here and here. That felt weird. Yeah, that shouldn't have been there. It should be here. Almost on top of the other station. But speaking of the other station, so we're at 1.7. We can at least add a few stations to start our little loop here. And, you know, we'll go over 2 billion on this. But, again, we're letting this run in the background while we go to Magic the Gathering. So I think that's okay. I think that's okay. So yes, we'll put 1 more station. And we'll be nice at the moment. Actually, hang on a minute. Do we want to be curving over already at that point? So we want the station in this area, but can I put it like right here? Is that going to still work? Actually, yeah. I think if we go aiming there-ish, absolutely. So it's going to be more expensive, but if we make this curve, 111,000 riders served to date. Awesome. Now where are we building? Building like right here, was it? Yeah, like that. All right, now we turn, do this. We want to hit this island. I mean, there's some workers there, but not worth it. We're just going to go all the way over here next. Right in Admiral. And here we definitely can be back up at 6. We kind of designed our loop earlier to be able to take some height underground, so it's not so deep. Now how we do it? Oh, we can, that'll work. That, well, it might be difficult. There we go. Yes, actually that works perfectly. All right. Let's see. We gotta get under this house right here, and then we can do that. Yes. And we can do something like this to shoot through here. Awesome. Actually, that should work out just fine. That looks silly. Hang on. Let's spread this out just a bit. That's better. cost 2.1 billion. Yes, we're gonna make 1 or 2 more stations in here, I think. Maybe just right over here. Yeah. So our last 6 height station will be right around here. We're building up from here. Something like that. Now we have to stick to the roads. As curvy as they are. $43, $43, that's fine. Okay, now from here, we dive. Uh-oh. Okay, well, yeah, those houses are... Have to keep that dive pretty low, I guess. If I had angled this a little differently, we would have a little bit more leeway. But we're fine. We're fine. This is the start of our west loop. We'll add the crossovers in. So our target cost right now is 2.33 billion. Or 2,300. We're at 500 at the moment. So that's 1,800 to make. And our profits right now are a little under 70. So 1,800 divided by 70. How many days of what do we have there? 1,800 divided by 70. Using a calculator tells me 25, 26 days. 26 because we're not quite at the 70 mark. So 57, we're looking for 83. So let's now switch over and play some Magic the Gathering while we let this run in the background. And while Magic the Gathering is going, I'm actually going to turn off the sound effects. As fun as they are, we'll turn off the sound. And let me now go open Arena. It's faster than walking. Got the sound on. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I want to change this again. Okay, there we go. Our category is now back to Subway Builder. We want 2.3 billion. We've got 2 billion already. So we will pause at the end of the day. Maybe we can even get away with building 1 more station or 2 when we get this next loan in. Finish. Actually, have we checked what the ridership looks like with? Yes, because we only haven't added anything since that 4-part extension. So cool. Let's look at our finances. There we go. Look at that. Line goes up. Line goes up. About 8:30 at night. We're waiting for almost midnight. And there's 9:20. I know I've mentioned it before, but I wish the fast speed on this was just a little bit faster. Not just a little bit, kind of a lot faster. Because again, this game works well if you just fine with having it be running in the background, but when you're trying to actually play through it and get something done quickly, it gets a little frustrating. All right, we've now got a bond issued. Almost 2.6 billion. We're gonna want a little bit cash left over because we're going to absolutely need to buy more trains. But this set of workers, where you are already handled, so actually you are going to be a nice extension. We want people here. In fact, maybe even something here as well. So we'll make one station here and like one station here. That should work, right? Here and here, yes. And these can be depth 6. We make, yeah, one here. That's not, there we go. That's what we want there. And then one right here in Georgetown. That's going to hit those buildings, yes, will. So we'll do that instead. And that's going to hit the, oh, it doesn't hit the buildings. All right, cool. There's 2.49. Oh, this is a little close, honestly. 2.51. I'll have 80,000 bucks left over to buy more trains, which is not enough. We're going to prioritize the east-west line first as we make our new routes. Nice orange. What are we going to call this one? It's not the Bellevue line. Well, it goes from Eastgate to West Seattle, so we're just going to call this east-west. Super creative, don't you know? That should now get us, actually, let's get everything. All those crossovers there. Awesome. We got these, that, and that. Confirm changes. 46, awesome. 23. Let's get 3 trains. Oh, actually. So that was 3 trains. I think we have enough money to buy another 3 for this loop over here. What color are we going to use this loop? We've already used purple. We've already used green. Let's use this light blue for West Seattle. So this is now, this is just the West loop. So creative with my naming. Confirm changes. 29. I think that's fine. And we're only just going to buy 2. I think we'll be fine there. Yes. Okay. And that looks nice, doesn't it? Got everything. This is about as zoomed in as we can get. Nope, east-west. That's not the right. There we go. I use the rounded things for light rail, and then the diamonds for commuter. All right, let's set this into motion. Those 2 are... Okay, that dot is just weird. Maybe while we let this run, we can actually have fun renaming our stations. That could be something we do. And all of a sudden, the game is a lot quieter than it usually is. That's weird. I don't know why the game is suddenly so much quieter. Hang on. I maybe need to close or exit room. Nope, that didn't change anything. I apologize that those nice little satisfying dings from the game are not actually translating onto stream right now. Or maybe they are. Maybe it's my speakers that are wrong. And let me look at OBS. No, okay, so those are those dings from the game are quite quiet right now. Oh, we've got a warning. Hang on. We've got some overloaded trains. Let's see. We're still in rush hour right now. Now we're into the midday. It might just be rush hour that the problem is at. Yeah. Trains are doing well midday. And all of a sudden, I'm suddenly feeling incredibly lightheaded. Whoa, where'd that come from? That's not fun. Holy mackerel. Oh, all right. Back to rush hour. 17 trains. Okay, the central line, I saw a bit of yellow there. On the east-west line, had a little bit. And we're done with rush hour. Okay, yeah, we're not having too much issue with overcrowding just yet. Now we're at night. Now we're at night, and it's almost time to see how the first day's stats pan out for these new routes. Guys, it's so quiet. I'm sad. I like the little dings that go with this game. We're doing okay. Alright, so... Okay, we had a small boost in operational profit per day, about 10 million, so that's nice. That is officially our biggest construction project, even bigger than the one that we started with yesterday. That's impressive. I like it. All right, let's zoom out again. Let's get the entire map. There we are. Station ridership. Downtown Seattle is already seeing 70,000 people go through. Any really low stations? 66. Oh, of course, yeah, Mercer Island. People there are not a lot of people there. I know I was already iffy about putting them on. Actually, you know what? Did I do the people in the middle a disservice? I did, actually. They kind of wanted a station right in the middle, didn't they? Because now this person, okay, they can get on, but not super easily. I may just need to put an extra station in the middle of that, but that means turning the route off. I don't quite have the money to do that just yet. Not just yet. But I do think that's important. Maybe it would be better to just do, like, a U-loop into the island. Because you obviously aren't going anywhere. Like, yeah, what these other people on the island, where are they even trying to go? You all. We've got some coming into the middle of the city, mostly the people on the west side of the island. That's actually kind of funny. And then everyone else is just kind of going different places. So there is very much an east-west split on the island of where people end up traversing. That's a fair amount of people. That's a fair amount of people. I was expecting more people around here to use the metro. Okay, I guess the people coming here, maybe not yet. We have to wait until we add a line to connect them. But, like, the person working here and up here, why aren't they using the metro yet? They should be. And you should be going here. You are taking the metro. That makes sense. That's nice. Oh. Yeah. I got dragged off to the side trying to get the people on this side of the island, and they're not even... Okay, they are using it. They're actually using it quite a bit. You aren't. That's interesting. Huh. And that makes sense you're not. That makes sense you're not. You, again, you might want to be. You well, you should. You will when we get the next line up. But yes, we are making 80 million and paying how much in our bond? 26. So we've definitely like down here in terms of actual profits right now instead of up there. But we'll get there. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna go open. Oh, that's so bright. Why did I do that? I opened a new tab and I blinded myself. We are going to start naming some of these stations because my little transit hub thing here is... Oh, and Google Maps isn't working right now, at least not easily. Pike Street, I think it's fine to call Pike Street because that is getting... That's close enough to saying Pike Place Market. Now down here, what do we have? We have the Skyview, Columbia Center, Columbia Center. We're gonna call this Columbia Center. Don't know what those photo opportunities are, but there seems to be multiple on the map, so we're gonna do that. Then we've got like down here-ish. It's between Japantown and Chinatown. Is that like a well-known neighborhood aside from you saying both of those things? Oh, Google Maps is just awful right now. But we're just gonna call it what it is. Japantown, Chinatown. Then as we move further south, oh good lord, so this, I actually don't have, so normally like the actual station, I think there's like one here and one here for Lumen Field and whatever the Mariners Stadium is called. We get over here. Yeah, my Google Maps is just borked right now. So actually no, so the real stadium station's like right here. So we're gonna call this stadium even though it's like a block further away. And then this station, that probably has, oh no, it doesn't have an actual station there because, no, yes we do. We kind of do. What's that called? SODO. What does SODO stand for? South of downtown? Anyway. You are now SODO. Yeah, that works. And down over here, this is North Beacon Hill. And Beacon Avenue. Okay, so that works out. Let's go back north now, because we're getting a little further away from... So this is the Spokane Street Viaduct. I'm kind of in an industrial area. What do I want to call this? Spokane's, okay, we'll call it. Do that. And over on the other side, Pigeon Point. Because then we get over into, I guess that's Youngstown and West Seattle. We're going to call this... This we're going to call West Seattle, I think. We're going to call it West Seattle Crossing. New name for a station that's serving multiple lines. And this is a little bit further southwest than what Youngstown seems to be labeled as, but I'm going to use it anyway. This is not Admiral Way. This is Smitch Preserve Park. And what is that on? We're just going to call it North Admiral. Okay, cool. So that leaves all of those named. So everything from the east-west line we're wanting to have actually named here. So do I want to call this Atlantic, or do I want to call it Judkins Park? What are we talking about here? No, that's not right. We are down here, aren't we? We're in Mount... No. This right here is Mount Baker. We're a little bit north of that. What do I want to call that? If Google would cooperate. Which it really is not. I don't know what we're going to call this. So there's One Hill Street and MLK Jr. Way. We're going to... Well, we'll use that name. Alright, so we have to go back north. Is that Central District by that point? No. This is Leshy. Or however you pronounce that. Leshy. Okay, that is Madrona. We just go straight over from Madrona. Is that Miller Park yet? No, it's not. Yes, no, yes. Okay, I can't tell. We're gonna call this East Madison Street, because that's what it's going over. And then we have some weirdness on the map that's not getting resolved. No, that's Capitol Hill. South Lake Union Cascade. I think I'm going to call that South Lake Union. This is Olympic Park. Then a little bit north of that. Well, that's also technically Olympic Park, isn't it? No, no. So, Mercer Street. There's a whole. This is not one park, it doesn't look like. Because I see the Science Center, the Space Needle, the Children's Museum, and just a bunch of other green space. Uptown. Well, you know what? It's Uptown. Alright, I'm done trying to deal with Google Maps here. That's enough naming for now. I guess the other things that we would like to name are any other intersections, but there are no other intersections, are there? Yeah. So Martin Luther King Day is named, West Seattle's named, Spokane Street Viaduct is named. Oh, we haven't named some of these. Wait, I thought we did. Capitol Hill, 17th. Oh. Oh, I see what happens. I jumped from East Madison Street all the way up to Capitol Hill. And I forgot the other two. Ugh. I'm not going to worry about that right now. 293 million. We can certainly make a little extension somewhere if we wanted to. Unfortunately, this is just being really quiet right now, and I don't like that. Why can't our trains run on positive thoughts and good intentions? Oh, lovely. So you immediately place all these under with meditation chambers. These news articles are just hilarious. Oh, actually, let's look at our demand. How's it going? Look at all those people taking transit over there. That is lovely. And the people who otherwise aren't kind of over here, I'm sure it's because we just haven't gotten where they need to go yet. Like all of these people in the Central District. Well, a lot of people are walking. Or, you know what? They're just not taking the train, honestly. Like getting from here to here, there's no great way to do it. Because people probably just want to get on to center and go up, because look at all of those spots there that are getting hit. Otherwise, it's just people going large distances. Center. So making something that just kind of crosses this would be nice. Because where is... not you, really. Why aren't you? Oh, that's why. Eh. Wait, so what did I highlight a moment ago that showed a lot of people not going places? That makes sense. You're kind of too close anyway. Like, this population... Hang on. Not you. Kinda you. It's so easy to walk there. Actually, there's a lot of walkers already. And when there's already a lot of walkers, there's not a huge push to make people use transit. But if we go down here... Like you... What was I looking at then that made... Ah! So this group of people. Yeah. We could just get one line that goes kind of across here. Teeny tiny. 1, 2, 3. Light metro, and it's going to be really light. I'm going to make it above ground. That actually will, yeah. this is going to do almost nothing to our actual, like, ridership. Okay, and that does connect, thankfully. So this is now, I'm going to just call it, I don't know what I'm going to call it. Yeah, that's so cheap. And we're right at time to build, which is awesome. Build it. Alright, it's the first of our little streets. And what color are we going to use this? I think, let's see, this is an east-west line. You know what, let's use some of our pinks for our little connector lines. Oops, hang on. We have to say we're using light metro. There we go. Just a single one of these. Seven minutes to take the entire route. I'm not even sure if this is going to be worth it at night. Oh, again, this is Route 1. Cool. That should help some of the demand, like right in here. These people are so close to the green, they don't care. These people I can see maybe using the help. We still have 145 million left. And those 7-minute timings are actually going to be something that we do aim for other really important lines down the way. Not worrying about it much at the moment, though. And this we're still going to call Leshy, because we already have that name elsewhere. And then over here, yes, Japan Chinatown. And then Little Saigon. And the question is, are people using it? It does not appear that people are using it at all. Okay, one, maybe two populations decided to use it. Oh, okay, we're getting warnings. It is the morning rush. We're used to seeing people getting issues in the morning. Okay, now we're getting used at Little Saigon. Alright, so where else are we doing some crossover stuff? We wanted to come up here, that's right. And this one's going to be way underground as we go underneath here. Over... I think so. Hang on. Alright, let's look at our worker grouping again. We're looking just right here, like the middle of downtown Seattle, something like this. So we need to get like Carlton Park, maybe somewhere in between. This station, one of these two, and then like go up. Go up and come down. Or actually no, because I think our idea of having something that crosses this way would come up into here. So this, whatever it is, would come down, hit here, and come through. This guy is coming hit here, coming up. So there's going to be a crossover station right about here. Right in the middle here. And again, we're just... Okay, so both of these stations have to be way underground then. That's unfortunate. But you know, we'll do what we can. Now, actually, how are you already? You are already at -12. So the way underground. Why are there people waiting? Okay, good. They're not waiting anymore. It kind of makes sense to have the 18 come under here. So light metro going way underground. So there's one line that's doing this. One line that's doing this. The crossover is right here. Something like that. And that'll come zooming down here. Something like that. And we're now way under, but we're gonna want to hit Carrollton Park, so let's that's too steep. We want to come more this way. There we go. We'll grab one more. Again, based on where these workers want to be. Something like grab this, grab that. Actually, we kind of want to hit like right here, don't we? Right in Magnolia Village. Right by that person. So like this. Like that. Like that. That. This is almost becoming a long line as opposed to a shorter one. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5. It'll be 6 or 7 stations long, honestly, which is a bit much. We'll run with it. Is that aimed the correct direction? Right now I'm aiming it almost at Sandpoint. Is that correct? It is aimed... No! I want it to aim a little bit further up. So, where's the undo? There's the undo. We want it to be more like that. Our cost, oh, that's already nearly $1 billion for just this line. And we want it to be a bit longer. Might as well just do it all in one straight shot. So let's build the last 2 or so stations here. And we'll just have to let it run. Oh, actually, Route Ridership. You know what? For being just 3 stations, that Route 1, not bad. $2K in the middle. Not a huge bump. We have affected a little bit of the ridership, though, which is nice to see. Oh, I wanted to... Alright, so here again are these people. So... There's actually no great way to hit everyone. We can hit something in Wedgwood, and then kind of loop over a little bit. That just completely misses this, though. If we try to hit right in the center here, do we reach everyone? Like, we just put a station right here. Right here. Does that hit who we need? Okay. That looks like it might be too far. 41st. Oh no, it's 13 minutes! Oh, that's so easy! Okay, we didn't angle this properly. but that is the exact right idea. All right, all right. We have 2 crossovers now. That's just 1. We need 1 more crossover at the other end. So that actually should help quite a bit. We're at 1.3 billion. We're at 0.3 billion right now. So we need to amass $1 billion. Which, you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, look, that extra that we built actually kind of dipped our profits a little bit. That one wasn't worth it. But, you know, it looks pretty. It looks pretty. Awesome. Okay, in that case, we still have about 40 minutes left of stream here. So let's go back into Magic the Gathering Arena and let's use another deck that's more up my alley than a Golgari deck is.